All right. So, doing this a little differently. I did a screen record of doing the actual thing, and I'm just going to go over and voice over it, and I sort of cut it up and stuff so that it's so we can get through it. And they will be building the Ferris wheel and also building a penguin. I did both of them, so we'll go through all of these. The Ferris wheel wasn't too long. The penguin quite a bit longer, but it was actually to learn the CSS animations. So we learned keyframes, the actual animation keyword and stuff. And so, yeah, I've got this as well, so we can pull it up as we go along. Some MDN, animation, scale, transitions. So, right here, we'll start it up. Start the project, and it'll show a little, as you can see, Ferris wheel going round and round. Changing colors as it goes around as well. So of course we just have to put in the regular doc type, change the thing to Ferris wheel. Whoops, skipped 30, but there we go. So here we're adding divs to the body. You got to give them the class of wheel for the entire thing, and then inside of that we have 6 span elements which are set to the line, and to 6 more set to cabin. So that'll be for the actual lines in the middle of the wheel and for the cabins of the Ferris wheel. There you go. So you can see we've got 6 and then 6 more. Good to go. So then we had the wheel element. Or we're selecting the wheel element. We're going to add a border of 2 pixels solid black and a border radius of 50%, or set the border radius to 50%, make it a circle, and then the margin left to 50 pixels, so it's 50 pixels away from the left. And then the next one, we had to set the position to absolute, and then set the height and width to 55% of the view width. And so the max height, max width property to 500. And then right here, we were selecting the line element, and then set the position to absolute, add the background color black, width 50%. We're kind of going through it a little bit more now. So as you can see, top and left are 50%, so it's 50% of the width away and away from the top. Position is absolute. Height of 2 pixels, width of 50 pixels. Sorry, I'm going over the circle here, I meant the line here. And then now we're going into there, and we're going to do transform origin, which determines the point the element is rotated. And so for this one, we wanted to do the transform origin of 0%, 0%. So this will offset the origin point by 0% from the left and 0% from the top. So it's right on the top and left of its origin point. And so transform origin. There we go. And then so for this one, we were creating a selector to target the second line element. So of course, that's when we want to pull in the nth of type. And then we want to rotate them by 60 degrees, so that'll create it to go all the way around. There you go. And so as you can see here, just got us for the next one here to do it for the next, for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th ones of these, and then change the rotation to 120, 180, 240, and 300 respectively. And yeah, and then after that, we wanted to create a cabin selector and then give it a background color of red, a width of 20%, and a height of 20%. And then set the cabin. After that, we want to set the position to absolute. And then we added a border of 2 pixels solid for step 12. And then and then we wanted to transform origin. So it was offset 50% from the left and 0% from the top. And so now you can see that that cabin started coming along here. Yeah, so this was the cabin when we just set the width and height. And then once we actually put into the actual position of absolute and the border, that's when it shrunk up here. I hate that this is skipping 30 seconds. So stupid. There we go. And yeah, now we've got, I shouldn't have used nth of type here, by the way. I used nth of type 1. Should have just used first of type. I don't know what I was thinking. It still worked. Still worked. Yeah, we have first and last of type. So, should have used that. And then, of course, same thing we did with the other one. We want to set all the cabins from 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all the way around and change these properties according to that. And so you can see there, that's what we did. Whoops. Boom. Just copy pasted them and then switched it all up. Did a quick cut there, so the boom. And now this is where we're learning the keyframes. And so keyframes is an at rule that's used to define the flow of CSS animation. So let's go to the MDN here. Ooh. Keyframes. So here you go. So the different steps are like the translate, X, transform. So from is the starting offset of 0%, and an end offset of 100% is the 2. Let me see here. To use keyframes, create a keyframe rule with a name that is then used by the animation name, which this one we are calling, I believe this is wheel. Yeah. So keyframes wheel. And so this one, we wanted to create a 0% rule. And so it's we quickly did that. 0%, boom, that's all. And then inside that 0% rule, we did transform property set to rotate 0 degrees. And then we gave a 100% rule and then transform it so it rotates to 360 degrees. As you see here, it's all coming together now, but still need to do it so that the colors change and everything and that these actually spin, right? And so this is where the animation rule is going to come in. Animation name, rather. Wheel. So we're adding this to the actual wheel. And then animation duration, which of course is in seconds or milliseconds. This one we did it in 10 seconds. So once we add that, this bad boy's going to start rotating around just like that. And then the animation iteration count, added it down here. This we're just doing infinite, so it keeps going and going and going. Animation timing function, set it to linear, which animation, we have that on here as well. So under the animation shorthand here, animation durations. We'll look at those. So the different, oh no, not duration. What am I doing? That's the animation timing. There we go. So linear, ease in and out, steps, and cubic Bezier. I don't know how to say that. So play. So linear, just directly, boom, ease in and out. As you can see, as it slows down as it starts and as it ends. Steps, obviously, like a Oh, there we go. So we can look at each different one here. Linear just animates at an even speed. Ease is equal to whatever this is. I guess this is just breaks it down so we know it move faster at this point and slower at this point, maybe. Default value increases in velocity towards the middle of the animation, slowing back down at the end, of course. Ease in, and that's equal to this. Starts off slowly with the speed of the transition and the animating property increasing until complete. Out, it'll be start quickly but then slows down. This one is the one we just saw where it starts off slow, speeds up, and slows back down. So this one, an author-defined cubic Bezier curve where the first and third values must be in the range of 0 to 1. Okay, well, I'm sure we'll learn, we can learn a little bit more about that, right? So, steps. So you can do the steps and different things too. So steps, jump start, jump in, jump none, jump both. So quite a bit we could do. Different animation styles here. So of course we'll have to test out some of our own stuff with this. And let's get back to it. Whoop. So now this one, we're just creating another keyframe rule for the cabins because we want the cabins to spin around and change color as we go. So of course the same things, we want it to rotate around 360 degrees, so we'll just have the 0 and 100% rules doing their same thing, only we want them to spin kind of the opposite direction of which it's going, and so we want it to be a negative 360 degrees. So for this one we're doing the same thing, add in those animation rules, so the animation, except for we're doing it as the shorthand, so with the shorthand you could just do animation, say what the name is, how long, and then the timing type, and yeah, just like that. Animation cabins 10, ease in and out, infinite. Just like that. And so we're going to add background color depending on the 0%, 100%, and all that. This is where the colors are going to go. And at one point you'll notice when it starts transitioning it just has a quick jump to the yellow, which is a little jarring after we do this one. And so that's why we wanted to add in more rules, like a 50% rule as well. So remove the background color from here. And then we added in a 25% rule. And then that's where we added in the yellow, because remember we have the default of the red on the first one there. And adding in the 75% rule now with another background color of yellow so it can transition between them much better. There we go. You see how much smoother that animation is now. Much better. Boom, and that was the end of it. So and that one's spelled wrong. And there we go. So that was the Ferris wheel. And again, it was mostly learning those keyframes, which really aren't too bad, are they? There's a lot more that we can do, of course, and we'll have to practice some more with different things. But fun, always fun to do animations. So can't remember. We do a little bit more. So the next one, I'll leave this up just in case there's an extra thing that I can't remember that was new. And so this is what we're doing. Penguin. Little happy penguin. Just giving you the wave in the sun. Here, of course, whoops. Just adding everything to the body. Whoops. We're already on step 5. What did I do here? Went from step 1. Oh, because step 2 was adding like links and stuff like that, so we didn't really need it. Step 4 here, just adding the width and height of 100% of the view window there. So VH, which I screw up a lot because I always do VW for some reason. And then this one, we want to remove the horizontal and vertical scroll bars so that they don't show up even when we shrink the window and stuff. So that's when we want overflow hidden, of course, right? So then any overflow won't create the scroll bar. It just hides out the window. Adding a body, and then we added a div with the class of ground. So that's obviously going to be down here where he was standing. I don't know why we kept it blue. Seemed weird, but then this one in the ground, we gave it a width of 100 of the view width, 100%, and then 400 pixels high. The background, we're going to do linear gradient. You can see those there. It's kind of like the bluey color with the white. It's at a 90 degrees. Boom. So that adds that all in now, eh? So, and then adding the z-index, making it 3, and then making a position absolute, so it's removed out of the off of the background and stuff, out of the stack. And then this one, this is where we're creating the actual penguin itself. So a div, and then we, I believe, target it. Yeah, target the penguin, give it the margin, or the height and width, and then also give it margin of auto. I did auto. I know you don't need to when it's just the same, so it does remove it itself, but yeah, auto. And then 75 pixels for margin top. And then here we're making another div, and it'll be left mountain, so that's actually going to be in the background, just right here. You'll see it, the two mountains that were at the beginning part there. And then, of course, as like everything else, we immediately went in and started to change everything in CSS, targeting it, and then adding some CSS to it. So adding a width and a height, and then setting the background to a linear gradient as well. And then after that, setting position to absolute. And then we're going to transform it and use the skew property, which, oh, I don't think we've used skew. I don't think we used skew yet. That's why I left it up, skew. So here we go. This transformation is a shear mapping, a transvection that distorts each point within an element by a certain angle in the horizontal and vertical directions. The effect is as if you grabbed each corner of the element and pulled them along a certain angle. So like this, stretching it as if you grabbed this point and just pulled them apart. And then that's obviously what it's supposed to look like. So you can see how it kind of is an oblong now. Slightly skewed. And so, let's get back to that. And so it's skewed by 0 degrees and 44 degrees. Oh, sorry, did I say which they were? I believe it is skew. I believe it's XY, right? Yeah. So. And then changing the Z index so that it's above. The margin top. Changing that so it comes down a bit. And then we're going to copy paste because now we're doing the back mountain. Could have called it right mountain too, but back mountain. Not broke. It's not broke, I'll tell you that. So target the back mountain and then add the width and height, 300, and then the background is going to be a linear gradient. And then just change a couple of things from the other one so it looks slightly different because it's further back. And then change the stack level, so meaning that it's going to be the Z index. And we want it directly behind it, so it'll just be the 1 because the other one is a 2. And then transform, so rotate it 45 degrees. And then adding a top to the left, and look at that, mountains coming along. And then we've got the class of sun, so we're going to be adding the sun in the sky here. So targeting the sun, of course, adding a width and making it yellow. There's our nice square sun, as if we're in the Minecraft world. Border radius, we're going to make it 50, of course, so that it's a complete circle. And then here we've got the position, the sun, so that it's, oops. What are you doing? So that it's in the top right corner and the edges are off the screen. And so that's when you want to do the negatives, right? So now we got it negative 75 pixels from the top, negative 75 pixels from the right, making it nice right in the corner, shining down on these bitches. Oops. Submit to go to next and press and whoops. And so now we got to do the penguin head, penguin body, position it relative, I mean, not relative, right? No, it was relative, yeah. Target the penguin head, give it the width, height, 45% for the height, half for the width, and then the linear gradient, there it is. A little gray with a white on the side there. Or light gray, I guess. Add in a border radius. So the top two are 70%, bottom two 65. So I just went 70, 70, 65, 65. And now targeting the penguin body. Doing the same thing, giving it all the colors and everything. This time, actually giving percentages of when it should start and stop. This one, pretty funny, I screwed up. Added brackets where I shouldn't have and taken away brackets by accident. It's one of those called keep looking over it. It happens. It happens. As you can see, I'm literally going letter to letter like, okay, well, where am I screwing up? And then that's when I realized, oh, okay, I have the extra bracket here. Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. There we go, now it pops up. So, adding a border radius to it. And then we want to get everything, so the penguin star, and we want to position everything to be absolute. Takes it out of the regular flow. So we can stack it all on top of each other. Now we're adding top and left to it, to the penguin head, to position it properly. So it's relative to its other parent. Top knot 40%. There we go for the body. And then we also add a little bit of the left, 23.5%. And then the Z index, we want to change it. Oops. So that the body's obviously behind the head. And then we want to make the crest on the body. So target body penguin. And then you're going to do before. And then we're going to set the content just to a negative or a empty string. Now it's just a pseudo element that's there. We don't have to actually put it into the HTML. Now we can give it a color. Give it a border radius so that it's a nice circular. And that's when I also realized you need to put the percentages in for border radius. It's not like with pixels where you can just put 0. And opacity, because we want to change the transparency of it. And since it's 30%, change it by 30% means minus 30% down. So it's 100% minus 30 is 70%. Yeah, and then we're adding the face. And so we're width and height, background, and then border radius, make it circular. Little top to move it around, a little left on the next one here, because now we're going to add left and right to each of these respectively. There we go, because these are going to be these little rose cheeks. There we go. And now we're the face right. Under it, we're going to make the chin. The chin element. There we go. And the chin, we're going to make white. We added width, height, background color of white, top, left. 25%, 55, and 5% respectively. Border radius is 70%, 70%, 100%, 100%. And then we made a root element, and we're going to put in the penguin face color and make that a variable for us to use in all the places instead of just using white. And so from there, I just copy paste, start putting that. Yeah, right there. Get rid of that white, make it a variable. Yeah, and I'm just going to copy paste that. On the chin there. All right, and then adding 2 eyes. And of course, eye left and eye right. Now we're going to target the eyes, give them a width, height, and a background color of black. And then add a border radius so there's nice and circular. And top to move it down. And then the eye left, we're going to position it 25% from the left of its parent, and then target the eye right and 25% from the right of its parent. There we go. Now the eyes are coming along. Eyelids. So we got to target the lid, give it a width of 150%, height of 100%, background color of penguin face. So white. Position the eyelid 25% from the top, negative 23% from the left of its parents. Then give all corners a radius of 50%. Of course, I put 23% for top, so we're going to have to change that. And so now add in those little rosy cheeks. The blush left, blush right. And then just both the blush elements. We're just going to add a background color and width and height, as of course, as always. And then we're going to add some top, so we bring it down, and then border radius to make it round. And then targeting blush left, and of course we're just going to target the blush right as well right away. Left 15%. Copy paste that. Boom. Change it to right. Now we got the beak. There we go. Top bottom. 50%. Background color of orange for border radius. I think I accidentally skipped a step there. I accidentally deleted that. My bad. Beak top, there we go. Now add a little left so it's right center. Beak bottom now. All the same stuff, but just changing the percentages. And now we're going to create a new one for shirt, for that little I Heart CSS shirt. And then the shirt element, we're going to make another div for the heart. And then a paragraph for iCSS, so we're going to change it to look like I Heart CSS. Targeting the shirt, giving it a font size, font family, and font weight to it. I put normal. I think it's supposed to be initial. That's my bad. Still accepted it though. So. And then gave it a Z index, and then of course the color, which is whatever color that is. I think they just wanted to have double 69 in there. Let's not beat around the bush. And then the feet. So we got foot left, foot right, foot loose. Background color of orange. So of course, now that we've got so much orange, you know what we're going to eventually be doing here down at the root. Gotta add that in. The picorna. And of course it's orange. And then we'll go through, change all those colors to orange as well. And now targeting foot left. Add in the left, and then on the right, add in the right, so then they're in the proper place. Now we're going to transform and rotate them 80 degrees and negative 80 degrees. And of course adding a z-index so that they're behind the body. And then adding arms, so we're going to have arm left, arm right. As you can see, we just started kind of ripping through. It was all kind of the same thing over and over and over and over again. This one, I, again, missed at that, and I guess spaces matter in the beginning on this thing. So skin for the arms, we're just going to put the gray and then change all grays like we've been doing. And there we go. Believe that was all of them. Might have also been chin. Arm. That's what it was. Arm left, arm right. Changing these so that they're in different places. Then here it is. Transform. Transform origin. I believe we actually didn't. Have we done a transform origin? I don't think so. Let's go. Oops. Transform origin, there we go. So the transform origin property sets the origin of, or for an element's transformations. And so at the center, the top left, this one, I guess just a specific point. Bottom right by 60 pixels. Neat. That was really cool, actually. Breathe. So yeah, pretty simple. You can see right here too, just adding those in, or you just rotate, transform. That's pretty neat. The transform origin property may be specified using 1, 2, or 3 values. And so one value syntax must be a length, a percent, or one of the keywords left, center, right, top, or bottom. 2 value syntax, length, a percentage, or one of the keywords left, center, right. The other value must be a length, a percentage, or top, center, bottom. The 3 value syntax, you use all 3. The third value must be a length, though. And it represents the Z offset. Okay. So there we go. And let's continue. We're getting close. Top left. And so that's going to be the top left. And that's where we want to start rotating it from. 130 degrees. So now you can see right there. Bink. And now that's going to be our little wavy hand, right? Hello. I don't know what I was doing here. There we go. Ah, the scale X. Oh, you're right, scale. Let's to scale. So the scale function defines a transformation that resizes an element on the 2D plane. Because the amount of scaling is defined by a vector, sx, sy, it can resize the horizontal and vertical dimensions at different scales. It results in a transformation function data type. So, scale of 1, obviously it's regular, 70% of it. this one, sorry, it was X and then Y. So this will be 1.3 times the width, 40% the height, and the negative flips it. So that's how it went from that, and then we put in the scale X, and bing, now it's flipped over on that side there, because we did -1. And then we targeted arm right, and now we're doing a rotate, added some top right, and then rotate by -45 degrees. I forgot the negative. Boom. And then the border radius so that we can get rid of the squareness on the flappies. And just making them go behind the body. And now this one, I actually purposely did this just because it was, we skipped a few steps just because it was very short steps. So essentially we made the wave keyframes element. Or it's not called an element on here. The at, maybe it is at element, right? Is that what it's called? Keyframes. At rule. At rule wave the at rule, and then it wanted us to make 4 increments starting at 10%, going up by 10% with each one. So we did 10%, 20, 30, 40%, and then now we're going into transform and doing a rotate of 110 degrees on 10%. And then we just added all the same and then increasing them, but I screwed up because I thought it was increasing each time the way that they described it, but it actually is a repeating pattern. So it would be 110, 130, 110, 130. That was my bad. And then so use the wave animation and add the animation things, like all the stuff we did last time with the duration and everything. Should have used the shorthand for it, but of course I did not. I went and used all 4 of the things, so you'll see in just a sec. This is me just trying to look through, be like, where is it? And then that's when I realized, aha! Look at him wave. Targeting the penguin now. When it's active, and increase its size, because you can actually click on it. And then make it so that the cursor can't drag it around. And then this, I screwed, making him dance here. Hold on, I accidentally, because I used animation, so I used the wrong keyword there. And yes, it's causing it to completely wave and breakdance, which I thought was like, break it down, little buddy. Let's go back, break it down, little buddy. Go ahead. Boom, 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 boom. Busting out moves. Still a better breakdancer than me, that's for sure. Better breakdancer than me. But yeah, it's because I was supposed to use the transition. Which I have that up right here. Transition. So yeah, here you go. Property is shorthand property for transition property, transition duration, transition timing function, transition delay, transition behavior. So yeah, same idea. Instead of using all of the other transition stuff. So, just shorthand. But then that's when we do it for, boom, transition is 1 second. Ease in and out. 0 milliseconds. Whew. Delay. And there you go. That's everything. So, just like little guy was doing here on that. Whoops. Yeah, so we went through it all. And so yeah, that's just him. We are done with that. And so yeah, quite a bit of stuff. A lot of stuff to play around with on the animations and the keyframes, changing scale and stuff like that. That was pretty cool during active. What I'll actually do is go to here. Don't really need to actually. So yeah, that's all of the stuff that we need to do. So other than that, peace.